So there was this incident last week that made Bitcoin go down. This is because there was an error on one of the biggest exchanges in the world, specifically one of the biggest exchanges in South Korea, which is Bithumb. If you're curious on the story and why this has impacted the crypto market, well, stay tuned. But before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you guys are notified when the next upload. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to the Republic Labs YouTube channel. In this video, we'll talk about the Bithumb incident and how it impacted the Bitcoin market, and also why you need to stay safe in the crypto market, even during the bear market. Last week, Bithumb did an error that caused the crypto market thousands and even millions of dollars in losses. This is because Bithumb accidentally airdropped 620,000 Bitcoin, not US dollars, but Bitcoin, for its users due to an error. As reported by Reuters, this incident happened last week, specifically on Friday. As you can see here, the incident took place on Friday, as Bithumb airdropped around 40 billion up to 44 billion US dollars in Bitcoin, which equals to 620,000 Bitcoin. So as you can see here, Bithumb has managed to recover some, which is around 99.7% of the accidental airdrop. However, some of the receivers has managed to sell their Bitcoin, causing volatility in the market. So what happened was, Bitcoin supposedly was to airdrop 2,000 Korean won, not 2,000 Bitcoin, which is a lot more or less than 2,000 Bitcoin. This was hysterical, however, this was sad, because this error shouldn't have happened. And it caused a great loss for Bithumb, not only financially, but also for its branding. This is because, just a day before the incident, Bithumb tweeted that they are a financially secure partner, which indicates that their platform is secure and safe, which is to be trusted by its user. So, this is really ironic, since after they tweeted that their platform is secured, they accidentally airdropped 2,000 Bitcoin of its users' Bitcoin. As reported by a couple of influencers and analysts in the crypto market, the airdrop supposedly caused a correction for Bitcoin, around 10% in just a day. As you can see here, there was a huge wick after the airdrop incident. This was due to some users or receivers of the accidental airdrop being able to sell, because Bithumb didn't recover immediately their accidental airdrop. So there are a couple of users that had been on standby and has managed to sell what they have received, which is 2,000 Bitcoin per user. This has caused volatility, even though the one that has managed to receive the airdrop and sell it was only 0.3% of the receiver. However, considering the amount of Bitcoin that was airdropped, that was initially huge, which is why it caused a huge wick in the candlestick. So what happened was that this was a careless human error, as this was supposed to be a giveaway using the Korean won and organized by their employee. This not only reminds us of the error that can happen on centralized exchanges, but also why we should not depend on centralized exchanges. One of the things other than the human error is that centralized exchanges such as Bithumb can move money to what they need. As you can see here, they can send Bitcoin and then send it back again to them to recover the airdrop or the accidental airdrop. Which is why, if we depend on them, if we depend on centralized exchanges, then we depend our money on them, and we give access for them to move our money freely. So, in order to stay safe, we need to remember that it is better to use the centralized wallet to access the decentralized ecosystem. However, it is good to remember that there are two types of decentralized wallet. One is hot wallet or browser extension wallets, which are connected to the internet 24/7. These kinds of wallets are MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and Phantom, which are most commonly used in crypto. However, this has risk of phishing link or scam, because if a scammer gets access to your browser, then they can immediately get access to your browser wallet. So it is safer to use cold wallets such as hardware wallets. Most popular wallets are Ledger and Trezor. So if a scammer has access to your browser extension or your internet, they cannot really access your wallet because you need confirmation on your hardware wallet. This is important to remember as scams are getting more frequent in the crypto. This is important to remember as scams are getting more frequent in the crypto space. As you can see here, scams are still relevant even in 2025, going into 2026, as phishing links are still a common hack in crypto. If you don't know what phishing links are, it is essentially links that scammers use to implement a scam to get access to your browser or your device or your accounts. It is done to represent or mimics the real site of what you want to visit, or a trusted site that you trust. However, there is a couple of different elements that is being used to scam you. So you need to be careful. Going into 2026, scams and phishing links are still prominent. It is recorded by Chainalysis that in 2025, there were $17 billion of estimated stolen in crypto scams and fraud. So you need to be careful, as scams are still prominent. One of the tools that I use to keep myself protected is Scam Sniffer, which is a browser extension that checks your websites that you visit or your application that you are using. So you need to install this, as this checks whether you are clicking on a phishing link or not, keeping your funds safer. This is not a paid promotion, but I have been using this for a while and this might help you. Well, that's all the information I have today. If you guys like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you guys are notified when we next upload. Cheers, guys!